time where the white Jesus must pack his bags and go back home where he came from. It's time for Muhammad and Islam to pack their bags and go back to Saudi Arabia.
We've been witnessing people misquote the Constitution. We've been witnessing people go around busy lying about a 5 million investment. All of a sudden, it's tulega cool, man, as people who actually know the real truth. We've been witnessing people misquote the Constitution. We've been witnessing people go around busy lying about a 5 million investment. But Kulumenta is speaking things that don't even make sense. Saying things like, all foreigners, when they come to the country, they must invest 5 million. That's not true. It's not all foreigners who need to invest 5 million. That's not true. It's only foreign investors who come to South Africa trying to apply for a business visa. Those are the only foreigners who can invest 5 million. And the type of businesses that they have to start is big businesses. Retail, superstores, manufacturing, not small scale businesses like spaza shops. Spaza shops, many of the foreign nationals that you see running spaza shops, they applied for permits to run a business because many of them have acquired an asylum permit. Many of them have a refugee status which they got from the UN. If you don't know how the refugee status that these people get from the UN gets to function in South Africa, let us take you through a journey so you can learn. Don't be arrogant and khulumenta ngazazi. When a foreign national comes to South Africa as a refugee, the South African government automatically allows those foreign nationals to go into the society and go live with normal regular citizens and fend for themselves, because the government is not going to provide shelter for those refugees. The government is not going to provide food for those refugees. So automatically the government is by default telling them that go work for yourself, go fend for yourself. We have already given you an opportunity to come to South Africa and live here, because in your country you ran away because of whatever, political indifferences, civil war, religious indifferences, whatever these people ran away from their countries, whatever excuse. We allowed you an opportunity to come to South Africa. The least we can do for you is to make sure you have enough right to be treated as if you are one of South African citizens. Go read the Refugee Act and come back here. Stop listening to a bunch of these patriotic, false patriotic TikTok influencers about Kulumumpeto, about Kulumenta Bangazazi. There is law in this country and they are busy misinterpreting the law. They are busy misquoting the law. Asylum seekers are not required to invest 5 million if they want to open a smaller business like a spaza shop. They don't require that 5 million. Refugees don't require 5 million to open a spaza shop. And many of these Indians, Bangladeshis, Ethiopians, Somalians, they are running businesses through those type of statuses. You only know a word called foreigners. You don't know foreigners have different types of statuses when they go to a specific country. There's people who have lived in South Africa for more than 5 years, and in that 5 years they've been working in South Africa. They've been contributing in the South African economy because they came with a work permit for a specific type of job. Maybe they came for being educators, bringing a special skill. Maybe some of them came to work in universities after living in South Africa for 5 years. And without them having to break a law. Of course, the law is going to be, the system is going to check if these people haven't even broken any law since they've been in South Africa. And if it's proven that those people who came to work with a work visa bringing special skills in South Africa haven't broken any law in the past 5 years that they've been living in South Africa, they've been paying their taxes, they've been doing everything in order, their papers are still up to date, they can go to Home Affairs and apply for a permanent residency The permanent residency is going to allow them to be treated and afforded all the royalties of being a South African citizen. That's not my opinion, that's the law. And if they've been here for 5 years and they finally get that permanent residency, a permit, or maybe that status, now you are called a permanent resident in South Africa, they now are afforded all the opportunities South African citizens are afforded. They can open a business without investing 5 million. So refugees can do it, asylum seekers can do it, those who finally got a permanent residency can do it without the 5 million. I don't know ni thola pleteni khulumayo. Your leaders are busy leading you with lies. They are telling you a bunch of lies trying to convince you isn't ezingekho in the book of law. They are telling you things that don't exist in the law. They quote one section of the law. They just read the main topic or the main chapter. They don't go deep into it and break it to you. There is many quotas within the law. There is many subsections within the law. They don't tell you, they just tell you, hi, this section says foreigners must invest 5 million. They're not being honest. They didn't tell you that 5 million is only required if you want to invest as like you want to come to South Africa with a business visa. Not to come as a refugee, not to come as an asylum seeker, as a business visa permit holder. It's only business visa permit holders who are required to invest that. And the type of business that they need to invest, it's not spaza shops. It's usually big retail companies, big manufacturing companies, big, not small businesses like a spaza shop. And in those businesses that these people will be running with that business visa, 60% of the staff must be South African and 40% can be foreign nationals. That's the law, what it says. In any business in South Africa, 60% must be South African staff and 40% must be foreign nationals. Go read the law, ngikhuluma into engingazazi nina. Ukudala sithulile sinibheka nikhuluma into ezingekho. We've been sitting here observing people speak things that don't exist in the book of law.
It's time where the white Jesus must pack his bags and go back home where he came from. It's time for Muhammad and Islam to pack their bags and go back to Saudi Arabia. It's time for the African to start asking those uncomfortable questions, which you are asking me from a religious space. Where were you? Who are you? Wait, no, you're not asking me who I was and who I am. Ask me, what were you colonized to be? Because had the Chinese people colonized us, all of us here would have been Buddhists. Had Muslims colonized us, all of us here would have been Muslims. But because the British colonized us, then you say you're a Christian. The day you bring to me a recipe of how to change a goat to make it a sheep, I'll tell you how an African can become a Christian. My calling is that of identity. The fact that you can have 1,000 people who are in agreement to a wrong thing does not make it right. So right is right even when no one does it. Wrong is wrong even when everybody does it. And I think I'd given you a pretext to your question when I said it's a colonial tool that Africa finds itself in the Christian space. If you go to Libya, you get to Somalia, you get to Egypt, you get to Algeria, you find because of the Arab influence, those countries are Muslim. But after you say they are Muslim, are they Muslim first before they are Africans? Or they are Africans first before they become Muslim? The question is, who are they? Self-determination, sovereignty of nations has to do with every race on the face of the world being allowed to be who they are and deal with the influences of colonization. Right now we're in the space where we are decolonizing. Decolonizing simply means we are resetting Africa to factory settings. We are removing all the unnecessary apps which are I almost swore at you, which are filled up in our minds toward identity, and say, but who are you? So my interest is not, I'm not even worried. Even if you told me that 99% of Africa is Christian, I'll still be asking the question, but who are they? After you have made them Christian, but who are they? And while you're on the same statistics, do further research, and you find that 30 to 40% of all the churches in Europe right now are up for sale. They're being converted into museums, into pubs, into recreational centers. It's there. So the question is, what is it that the European has now discovered about this Jesus infatuation, which the African is still excited about? But because Africans lost their identity and allowed other people to define them, we will be 50 years from now where Europe is right now. These same white people have abandoned this thing. Why? Because it's founded on a false doctrine of the whitening of God, false doctrine of the whitening of Jesus, false doctrine. Oh, I hope you will tolerate me. Cultic behavior of drinking human blood, eating human flesh, in the transubstantiation of the Lord's Supper. Africans are constantly being brainwashed to think that it's okay to drink the blood of Jesus and eat his flesh. And you call this religion? No, don't shake your heads. This is the crux. You call this religion? Half of you here, if not 90% of you, are Christian. But when the white man tells you to do it like this, you don't question. When an African comes and asks the question, do you know what you're doing? What is this all about? No, he's a pagan. Maponga J is an atheist. He's a satanist. I'm simply asking the question, are you saying your salvation is based on human consumption and drinking blood? Where do you find those cults if that not in witchcraft? And here we are, proudly saying, I'm Christian. I'm a Christian. What are you? And they ask me, are you still a Christian? And so I say, ask me the right question. Are you still brainwashed? That's the right question. I'm a bridge builder. You have the gospel in the Bible with the Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. 4 disciples that write the same story, but each one of them in their own perspective. So I did Greek, I did Hebrew. I could take you on that route. Kata, Markon, Kata, Lukon, Kata, Matthew, Kata, Ioannon. Meaning the gospel according to Matthew, according to Luke, according to John, according to Mark. Simply meaning I had an encounter with Yahshua, Yahuwah, Yeshua, Jesus. This is the way I am interpreting my experience. In the 21st century, if I should come up with a title of a book entitled The Gospel According to Maponga J, who sits in front of you today, I am simply saying, as I see it, as I understand it, as I have experienced it, and I am a circumcised theologian. If God gave the Israelites Jerusalem, a land belonging to the Palestinians, the Philistines, the Hittites, the Amorites, the Jebusites, what is the same God giving the African? And if this God has a problem with Africans, then he never created them. Because you cannot have such a race of people simply built to become slaves of another generation and another nation. I don't like that God. And I've asked the question, and no one has come up to answer it. The question is the God of the Bible the creator of the universe? Because if he is the creator of the universe, we need to ask the same God the question, so what is your agenda with Africans?
So
We understand the white involvement, their domination and their colonization and their whatever. I'm not interested in Indians and Asians and etc. I am a Pan-Africanist. So I want to ask the same God, where is our land? Where is our identity? And if your God cannot accept me as an African, dress up like a white man so that God can accept you. Then you look at this God and say, hold on a minute. If you have a problem with the African and his identity, question, then who created this one that you have a problem with? Because it looks like you only favor this one. Oh, if a man claps one cheek, give him the other cheek. Oh, that's good for white people, yeah? What if a black man should clap a white man? Should the white man also give him the other cheek? How come the gospel only works with why and how, and justifies why an African must be colonized and abused by the white man? But the same gospel will not tolerate if a black man becomes the master, becomes the Lord, and implement the same law. If slaves must be obedient to their masters, it's beautiful when a white man is the master. What if we turn the verses around and say, what if the black man is the master? What must we do with these people that raped our mothers, stole our land, killed our kings? What does that God say? And if that God cannot address African problems, then that God never created the African. So my gospel has to do fundamentally with respect of every culture and clan in their own spaces, and not use religion as a foreplay of colonialism and managing the African anger towards issues that must be resolved, whether they be legislative issues, academic issues, and etc. Here we are struggling with democracy. Democracy simply meaning the white man can continue to abuse you. It's only that we have the right to vote, but still don't have the right to land and function. But they are free in their countries to do what they want. You are not free, and we call that political freedom. Political freedom without economic power, it's a waste of time. Waste of time. The gospel according to Maponga J is an Afrocentric gospel that deals with African identity. Decolonize God, decolonize religion, take off the clothes of colonialism, find your identity as an African who